This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's Sweetheart, Davian. And
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy Jane.
This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit, Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
In 3, 2, 1.
Hey, how you doing? This is WWE Hall of Famer Bret the Hitman Hart, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Oh, yeah. Do another. Can you count me down again?
Yes. In 3, 2, 1.
Oh yes, this is Paul Bearer, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Can I just do another one?
Oh yes.
I'll do one for you as JGeorge.
Okay. In 3, 2, 1.
Greetings, creatures of the night. This is The Undertaker, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Alright, hold on, I'll do now one more. Hold on, here we go. This is the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Yeah!
That sounded like more like Vince McMahon introducing Shawn Michaels.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is JGeorge, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. How's that? How's it?
Yes.
Nice.
Hello, and welcome to the show at Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, James J., and it's a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with JGeorge.
Finally, The Rock has come back to Wrestling with Entertainment.
He sure has. How are you, George?
I'm doing great. It's really great to be here with my man Double J, James, on here for Wrestling with Entertainment.
I don't think anybody's ever called me Double J yet. Can you tell us what you got coming up next?
Yeah, I got actually just announced, and I'm actually about to put the tweet out just right now. This is a huge matchup. It's going to already take place by the time this comes out, but it's worth talking about for the history books. On December 8th, I will be taking on the formerly known as Fandango, and now known as Dirty Dango, for the major toy drive taking place at the Creative Pro hallowed halls of Lynbrook, Long Island.
Awesome, and is that the show where if you give 2 toys, you get in free?
That's absolutely the show. People give 2 toys, they get into that is the price of admission. 2 toys in the box.
That's
unopened. They have to be in minty mint.
And that's just an awesome cause as well.
That's what it's all about. It's toys for the less fortunate.
Oh yeah. And of course, where can we find you on social media and merchandise if you got it?
All right. Well, thank you so much for the interview. You can find me at J. You can find me at JGeorge the movie on Twitter and jgeorge.mp4 on Facebook.
And merchandise?
Oh wait, I'm sorry. On Facebook, on Instagram. On Instagram, I don't really use Facebook that much, but you
Nobody
can find
does.
me jgeorge.mp4 on Instagram.
Alright, and all of those links will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox, simply go in the description, click the link, and you will be there. And this interview isn't ending, it's just getting started.
We're just getting started.
Oh, we're just getting started. You just mentioned, you're fighting Dirty Dango, coming up. Obviously a big match. How do you feel about going into that match against Dango?
Excited. I've had a couple good matches recently with some great talents. Dan Barry, Taya Valkyrie, most recently Darius Carter, and I'm hoping to keep the ball rolling. And this is a man that has many years of experience, and I'm hoping to put his experience up to the test and see what we can do.
And it's not going to be a dance-off. It's going to be a match.
It might be more of a dance-off than a match.
All right. Now you mentioned that, you've wrestled a lot of great talent, and as of late, you recently wrestled Taya Valkyrie.
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
It was violent. It was physical. She brought the heat. She wasn't afraid to hit me, and I wasn't afraid to hit her. And Taya Valkyrie showed me that I could have a different side of me, even though I lost, and I was scared. I get scared when I lose. I don't want to lose. I hate when I lose. Wah. I don't like to lose. Wah. And she beat me fair and square, though. That's the crazy part. I tried to cheat, but
You would think
she won.
You would have got the W that way, right?
What's
Hello?
that? Yeah, sorry, I lost you there. What'd you say?
I said I would have thought you would have got the W, using nefarious means.
I tried to, man. I tried, but she's been around the block, and that's what happens when you wrestle people that have more experience than you. They get the better of you, man. They get the better of you. They got the better of me.
Well, hopefully you could use those dirty tactics against Dirty Dango and pick up the W.
Oh, it's gonna get dirty. It's gonna get real dirty. It's gonna get really dirty. It's gonna be one of the dirtiest matches ever.
Yes. All right. Now you trained with CMLL.
Who told you that? Who told you that?
We do our research here.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Who told you that?
I promise we're not the feds, but we do our research here.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. I did train there actually for a little bit.
What was that experience like? Obviously, one of the major companies in Mexico, obviously going to Mexico, the culture and the differences in wrestling.
It was something. Part of my goals when I first started wrestling, I wanted to, travel the world and be able to go to different places and wrestle in different areas. And one of my first goals was to go to Mexico. Being of Latin descent, being a Latino male, I Lucha Libre was a part of, it was on the Spanish channels, and I actually had family that was living in Mexico, so I thought it would be a good idea to take advantage. And and go out there and not have to worry about paying for a hotel or anything. And I was very fortunate. I was able to go out there and do that. And it was crazy because I wasn't originally going to go train at CMLL. I was going to go train somewhere else. And I didn't really plan it out too well. And when my original plan wasn't working out, I found out all you have to do is just pay $50 and get a physical, and they let you train there. And for those that don't know, CMLL is the oldest company in the world, and it's the arena in Mexico is the oldest arena in the world. And I got to train in that very arena, and it was one of the greatest experiences of my life. And I got to experience that for it was a short time, but I still got to experience that. And there was a lot of little things that I took away from it that I still to this day hold near to me.
Well, because you were trained in American style in America, and then you went to CMLL, correct?
Yeah. I had already been training for about like 2 years since.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what were some of the differences between the Mexican style rather than the American style that really you found were big differences?
Well, it's interesting because a lot of the style now, especially on the independents, is a mix of lucha and American and Japanese style. It's all kind of become one mix, kind of similar to how mixed martial arts used to be a lot of different styles. But now everybody trains in all those different styles together. So now it is like a mix of everything. But it wasn't. There's definitely a difference in the style of the matches and the moves they do. And I learned a lot of letting go and being able to trust your body. That was probably the biggest thing I took away from it.
Now, you mentioned Arena Mexico. Like you said, the oldest arena in the world. Obviously, very famous. Anybody kind of came through there. What was it for you to be in that arena and train?
Yeah, like I said, it's definitely a big dream come true to be able to do that. I wish and I still have this goal where I actually want to wrestle there. I didn't get to do any matches there, but being able to train there, man, that was really special. That was really special for me, So I appreciated every moment that I was doing that.
Now, another arena you were at was the Hulu Theater at Madison Square Garden. Hulu Theater aside, it's Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
What was it like being in the world's most famous arena, and what did that kind of feel for your career as a pro wrestler as well?
How'd you know about that? Wait a minute. Wow, that was another one of those cool moments. It was similar to Mexico where it's like I really wish I could have wrestled on that show. But the coolest thing about that for me was the night before. So that I got that through Conan from AAA and from WCW. And all around legend, the guy that introduced Lucha Libre to the United States. I got to do that through him because I was helping him out, and I offered my services. I said, whenever in New York, whatever I can do to sit under your learning tree and learn from you and stuff. The night before we walked into the actual Madison Square Garden arena floor, and I took a second to think, wow, I'm in here, Madison Square Garden, with all these wrestlers, and right next to my one of my favorite wrestlers growing up, and now I get to be here next to him as working with him, you know? So that was really cool. And then, you know, that show was kind of hectic, and I ended up doing a lot more than I thought I was going to be doing. And having that experience again was like, it was something I never thought I would get to do, but you know, again, I just really appreciated it.
That's awesome, and I mean, obviously, hashtag goals.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying, and that's, you know, I had been working towards that, and again, it was something where I did it, but I still, it was like I just got a taste of it, and like I said, I would have really liked to wrestle there. I would have really liked to. I still want to wrestle for AAA. I still want to do more. I still want to wrestle in Madison Square Garden.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now you did work for CCW. You know, obviously one of the more infamous companies on the Indies. What was that experience like?
It was not good. It wasn't a good one at all, actually, to be honest with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I don't know. I was there towards the end of their. It was towards the end of where they were really had any steam, and I knew going there would be a good platform to kind of launch my notoriety on the indies. And when I was there, MJF was the champion there, and you know, Matt Tremont was still there, and you know, they still had a lot of good people there. But unfortunately, Joe Gacy was there too. He was one of their top guys, and I wanted to get in there and I wanted to mix it up with these guys because I know deep down in my heart I could go with them and I could do a lot of fun stories. And unfortunately, I just didn't have that opportunity there. And a lot of that was also through my own fault. I wasn't looking back at it. I wasn't ready at the time, but it was still frustrating nonetheless. And I tried to do all these things to fit in there and to get an opportunity, and they always kind of, it was always a lot of maybe this, maybe that, but it never actualized. And I didn't agree with a lot of the people that were in charge with the company at that time. I think, you know, I think it was mismanaged and it wasn't the right leadership, and they lost a lot of steam, and it was, unfortunately, I didn't get what I wanted out of it. I wanted what all these other people had the opportunity to do, to tell the same story that guys like Joey Janela got to tell, Leo Rush, Shane Strickland, you know, all the people that came through and made a name because they were in CCW. I want that. I wanted a piece of that. I didn't get that, unfortunately. What I did get to go to Germany, though, because of CZW, so I do owe him that, and I got to wrestle in China because of CZW. So I do have that to take away. If I didn't go to CZW, I may have never gone to China. I may have never gone to Germany. So I do owe them that much.
It seems like a reoccurring topic with CCW. You know, maybe not the best experience, but you know, it wasn't all negative, right?
Of course not, and I think that's just a lesson through life, you know.
Right. And you went to China. That was for OWE, right?
Yeah, that's right. That is correct.
What was it like wrestling in China? Because we always talk about Japan. We love Japanese wrestling. There is wrestling in China, but it doesn't get maybe talked about as much, you know, as Japan.
Yeah, well, part of the reason is because wrestling in Japan has always been a big part of their culture.
Yeah.
It was kind of ingrained into the culture of Japan. Unfortunately, though, but I mean, not unfortunately, but rather in China, wrestling is still very much a new concept. It's a new sport for people. So a lot of the fans, there's not really big wrestling fans there. They don't really understand what wrestling even is. So there's a big learning curve, and that was part of the reason why I was there, because that was part of the reason I was there, because they needed American wrestlers to help introduce wrestling to the country. And a lot of it, so like when I went to Mexico or when I was in Germany, I was learning a lot about the style and learning how to be, how to implement that. When I was in China, I was almost doing more teaching than learning.
That's interesting. That's I believe Ho Ho Loon made that promotion.
He actually runs a different promotion. I forget. I think he might be doing Middle Kingdom Wrestling or something like that.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
That's interesting because you're absolutely right. It is a part of the Japanese culture, and it's not a part of the Chinese culture, which is just insane to me. um, we're talking
Well, they just never really had an introduction to it,
right. And what does that kind of mean to you to maybe be somebody's introduction to pro wrestling?
I think that you're always going to have that. I think you'll always, people there, no matter what show you're on, even if you're in WWE or in AEW, there's always someone in the audience that's never seen wrestling before, or that they don't really understand it. So that, I think your job is to always be introducing, and that's a big mistake. That's a big mistake that people make now, is they assume everybody knows everything about wrestling, and they have all these references and everything. I think that's a big problem with wrestling. They make it so that it's only for the hardcore fans that watch it every week, but we're getting away from the fact that maybe sometimes there's people there that haven't seen wrestling before, that don't watch it every week. So it's not any different than when I'm in the U.S. or whether I'm in China. You always have to wrestle like someone's watching wrestling for the first time.
Okay. Now, we've talked about Mexico, Germany, China. Maybe it's just because I'm hungry, but what was the food like?
What was the what?
What was the food like?
I was good. I liked it. One of the cool things one of the cool things over there is that and one of the cool things was that when I was in China, it was like a dojo. So they had a gym that you go to every day, and it had a wrestling ring, and it had a bunch of mats, and it had some weights, but it also had a kitchen, and you can go in there. You could go in there for breakfast, and you can go in there for lunch, and they would put out food for us. A lot of their native food I didn't eat all the time, but they would put out. I could cook my own steak or cook my own chicken. But like when they would take us out to restaurants, we went to like a barbecue place, and we went to like a hot pot, and we did a bunch of like fancy restaurants. And I always liked Eastern food, like the Chinese food and Japanese food or Korean food. I always liked that type of food. So
But they just
I
call it
was,
food there.
yeah, that's true. It's funny too, because there was a restaurant in China at the mall that I would go to with my friends that served more Western style food, like American food,
Okay.
and we would go there a lot. And I would get this pizza, and they would have like burgers and fries and stuff. So it was, in case I got too tired of it, they had a nice break.
What was the best thing you ate in China?
The best thing I ate in China.
Yes.
we went to this barbecue. It was like Korean barbecue, but it was Chinese food,
Okay.
and it was just like a lot of it was a lot of meat and chicken and stuff that they put on this grill that's in the middle of the table. That was I remember that being really good.
What was the best thing you ate in Mexico?
My aunt's cooking probably because she I was living with her and she always made good food. I mean being Latino, that's always the Mexican food's always been there for me, so it wasn't like a new experience for me, but obviously eating authentic Mexican food is always good. Eating I remember we would go. There's a street on the street. They sell potato chips, right?
Yeah.
But they put like hot sauce on them and lemon, and it's like really good. That I like that as a little treat.
All right. Well, let's get back onto the topic of pro wrestling. Can you tell us about getting a W on Al Snow?
Yeah. What does everybody want? Let's see. Also no. Oh man, that was a good time. I can't believe I did it. I beat him. Al Snow 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. And you never know. I was watching him growing up. I used to do the taunt, and then I got to beat him.
I imagine that's a big
1, 2, 3. Al Snow, I'm the winner. If you smell what The Rock is cooking. And The Rock says you have him team up with some guy named Al. Tell me, who is this Rudy Poo that The Rock has to team up with? Oh, you know him. It doesn't matter what his name is. Yeah, it's just a good time, man. Al Snow.
Well, maybe you could tell me if this was a good time. Could you tell us about your rivalry with Bobby Orlando?
Bobby Orlando. Bobby's the goatist. Bobby, have you interviewed Bobby before?
I have not, but you would be surprised how often his name comes up in interviews.
I believe it. I heard your interview with LMK, and she talked all about him for not the whole hour.
Oh yeah.
LMK all day.
We love Little Mean Kathleen, one of our favorite guests of all time.
Yeah, she reminds me a lot of Batista.
Well, we usually call her the Roman Reigns of the Scrunchy Squad.
Yeah. I like wrestling Bobby. I wrestle Bobby a lot. Oh, sorry about that. My dog's on the gels. I like wrestling Bobby a lot, man. He's a great competitor. He's so good. He gets better every time, and he's someone I can. He's like we're like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
You can fight forever.
Fight forever. Yeah, he does a lot of backflips.
Well, I mean, I mention it because you did put your hands on Bobby Jr. and you did hung him up from the rafters.
You saw that, right?
Yes.
Like the Undertaker. Rest in peace.
I mean, you could do whatever you want to Bobby Orlando. Sure, beat him up, do what you gotta do. But why did you have to touch Bobby Jr.? He did nothing to you.
I had to do it, man. I had to. I didn't. Honestly, I didn't want to. That's the crazy part about wrestling. I didn't want to do that, but I had to. That's the wild part.
I mean, did you have to? He wasn't part of
Maybe
the
not. Maybe not. Okay, fine. I guess not. I didn't have to, right? But I'm glad I did it though. I don't regret it because I got what I wanted. I got the match with Bobby that I needed.
Well, I mean, if you got what you wanted, I guess the ends justify the means.
That's what wrestling is all about now. You know, it's a dog eat dog world, or as they like to say, it's a goat eat goat world.
That's a better one.
Yeah.
So you played Erica Leigh in a match against Jordan Blade?
Yep, I did. That's correct.
Okay, so how do you first get the role of Erica Leigh? And then how do you channel Erica Leigh in a match against Jordan?
I was able to channel, rather, that's what you said. I was able to channel Erica because I am Erica in a lot of ways, and she is me. She lives inside of me, and I live inside of her. We are symbiotic. We're like cells. We are kindred spirits in a lot of ways. So that was an easy task, and I had to fill in for her because she was supposed to be at Pro Wrestling Magic, but she was like, I don't want to be there. Meh. And I said, Erica, there's fans that look up to you. And she's like, I don't want to be there. And I said, Erica, and she was sick, unfortunately, she couldn't make it. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna fill in for you, Erica. This is because I'm a filmmaker, and this is a movie I'm working on, and I have to play the role of Erica Leigh, and it's I want the challenge. You know, I wanted to challenge. I want to challenge as an actor. I want to challenge as a director, and I want to challenge as a wrestler. So as a director, I had this vision of my head of this film where I played Erica. As an actor, the challenge was how do I act as one of the best wrestlers on the independents right now? How do I do that? How do I portray someone who, in my opinion, is the closest thing to The Rock right now in wrestling? And not only that, but I wanted a challenge as a wrestler, and she was wrestling Jordan Blade, who's super underrated and such a great wrestler. I wanted to wrestle Jordan Blade. I wanted that match. So everything lined up, and it's just like we said before, sometimes in life, the ends justify the means.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, I love the fact that it wasn't just JGeorge replacing Erica Leigh, it was JGeorge playing Erica.
Yeah, it's just like, you know how in they had different Doink the Clowns?
Yes. Yeah.
It was kind of like that. Like, the fans still want to see Erica. You know, they expect to see Erica at the show. So why disappoint the fans? I got to go out there. I still got to give them Erica Leigh, and it worked out.
All right. Now, everybody knows on this show that my co-host Scooter Dust would be mad at me if I didn't bring this up. You competed for the NYWC. Can you tell us about your experience with that company?
I don't know if I did technically. So we might. Who told you that?
Cage match?
Who told you that?
I believe we hosted Sunny Kiss.
That was like a pre-show. But yeah, I didn't really do too much at the NYWC.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. No, it happens. I get it. It is technically in the record books, and the NYWC was a big promotion in the Northeast, and it's one of those places that I'm glad to have checked off my list.
Definitely, that's where my co-host trained and worked for. And when any of our guests have came through there, he always asks them about their time with the company.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Now you mentioned Pro Wrestling Magic. Recently you cut a promo on the fans about about pro wrestling. Can you tell us about that promo?
Wait, which promo?
The one
The
where you
recent.
said that the wrestlers, if you're not interested in what we're doing, we apologize and we're gonna get better and we're gonna do it for you guys.
We have to do something better because every time I go out there, in a lot of these places, the fans are quiet. They're on their cell phones. They they don't. They're not as invested anymore. I don't know. These people in the ring are killing themselves, and the fans sometimes they seem bored. And I think part of the problem is there's too many matches sometimes on the shows, and sometimes the matches go too long. I think we need to use more time limits. I want 10-minute time limit for the matches. I want I want less matches on the show. I want the wrestlers to try harder because obviously it's not the fans' fault. The fans are still paying money to attend the shows.
Right.
But if they're gonna be there, if they're gonna be there, they have to be entertained, and we got to entertain them.
It did seem like it was maybe let's say necessarily out of character for you to cut that promo. No.
No, I don't think so. It was always in there. I made a mistake over the last couple years of being more behaved and just trying to play right and not step on any toes. And I think I've been too quiet. I've been too nice. And I'm tired of being a nice guy. I'm tired of worrying what people are going to say. I already screwed up my career as far enough as I could to this point. So what's the harm? I have nothing left to lose anymore.
It sounds like JGeorge is maybe interested in making his own promotion.
I would if I had the money. It's so expensive. There's so much money. Can I borrow some money, please?
Unfortunately, we have no money here as well.
I want some money. I do think I do think that I could do better than a lot of the promoters now, because a lot of them don't have wrestling experience. They just kind of get into it, which is okay, but the fact that a lot of these people have like some sort of say over my career or over my future is stupid to me. And I don't like that. I don't like being told what to do. I want to do what I want to do. I don't listen to no rules. I'm like D-Generation X, man. But I can only do so much. I try to get more involved in Pro Wrestling Magic. I want to be like Dusty Rhodes, and I want to book the promotion, so to say. I want to book the matches together. But I need money to do it on myself if I want to do my own promotion. But I would. I would definitely do my own promotion. I think it would be better than a lot of the other wrestling promotions.
A promotion run by JGeorge.
Yeah, it's just tough, man, because there's so much wrestling on television. There's so much wrestling in the independents. So I think it's very hard for fans to, like, my head is like, I could barely keep up with the wrestling. Why would a fan want to add another thing to their list of wrestling? It's too much. It's too much. There's too much wrestling. Oh, wah!
I agree with you. There is a lot of, wrestling out there right now. But if you're making, a product that is good quality, that will attract people, then all of that kind of goes away, no?
Yeah. Yeah. They got to find a good wrestler, but it's tough because you know what the other problem too is, Double J, is if a fan sees a lot of bad wrestling or they see enough bad wrestling, that could be enough to turn those fans away, and then they may not want to watch wrestling anymore, or they may not want to watch as much wrestling. You know?
Well, I mean, WWE's been doing it for 50 years.
But WWE is the best wrestling promotion in the world, so I don't understand the correlation. My point being though is, like, especially if I'm just talking independent wrestling. Independent, like, WWE has the best athletes in the world wrestling. Independent wrestling is just people off the street, and I think that hurts wrestling when people see these guys that are doing too much and they're not good, and the shows aren't good. It makes a fan not want to go to a show the next month. You know, WWE will always have people in the stands. They'll always have people in the arenas. That's not the issue. More people watch them than any other company, so that's not the problem. The problem starts at the VFW hall.
Unless I kind of go to, you said, like, guys just coming off the street. Is that kind of attributed to the schools, if they're not necessarily properly trained or trying to get, the experience that they need to get to a higher level?
Yeah, part of it is the schools. Part of it is the promotions that put it on the shows and stuff. It's a mix, you know.
Right.
Yeah, it's a mix. It's just what can you do, you know?
Well, speaking of WWE, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were a security guard for Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, no?
The tribal chief, baby.
All right. What was it like? Obviously you're a pro wrestler. Nobody is bigger than Roman Reigns in the wrestling world right now.
Right.
What was it like for you to be in the same ring as the two guys that are great on a different level?
Man, that was a rush. I want more. Can I do it again? That's what I said. I want to do it again. Next week, can I go? That was the coolest experience of my life. That was WWE in Hershey Park, and I got to stand there before WrestleMania, and I got to feel that rush that is professional wrestling. Don't let it die, my friends. The magic. But that was so cool, man. I want to do it again. Brock Lesnar gave me a German suplex. I want a match with Brock Lesnar after that, you know. I was there for Roman Reigns. I had his back, the tribal chief, and he owes me one. So maybe I get a title match next month. Maybe.
I don't see why not.
I don't see why not. I should get a title match. I want a title match. I want everything. I want to be in the WWE. I want to be the Intercontinental Champion. I will be the Intercontinental Champion very soon if I do my homework and and I start showing wrestling the attention it deserves, I think I can come back and make a splash. I still have my health, you know?
Right.
And I have a lot to prove. And I want to show the fans that I could still do this, you know?
And of course, you have to give a shout out to Dr. Cool, who obviously had the connection with Roman. Roman called him to bring him to do security for him.
Wait a minute. Roman called Dr. Cool?
Yeah. We had him on last week, and he was like, Roman called me up, and he was like, Dr. Cole, I need you for this. And he was like, I'm there. I'm going to gather some people. We went.
Could you do a Dr. Cool impression?
Oh, what's crack-a-lack in my alcoholics? Woo! It's the coolest guy in the country. The dopest dude in the dungeon. Dr.
Yeah. All right. That's pretty good, my man. I like that. That was good.
Shout out to Dr. Cool.
Big shout outs. Dr. Cool, baby. Dr. Cool. He's a cool cat, brother.
That he is. And the dopest dude in the dungeon.
The dopest dude in the dungeon. Yeah, I like him. He's one of those kids at Creative Pro that he's there. He's training all the time. He's putting a lot of effort into his craft, and those are the type of people to respect. Have you interviewed Leo Sparrow?
I have not.
He's the guy. You have to talk to him. He's the next. He's the next guy.
He's definitely on the list of people to ask.
You haven't asked him, right?
If I asked him, it was a while ago. But
you ask.
Always...
You let me know. Let me know next time you ask him, and I'm gonna have a little talk with him, and I'm gonna make sure he comes on and does the podcast for you.
Oh, that's deeply appreciated. Thank you so much.
Otherwise, you know what happens? He's on punishment. You remember you remember punishment? You ever get punishment when you were a kid? Oh man, I used to screw up when I was a kid. I got in trouble all the time. Yeah, man.
One thing you didn't screw up was your rivalry with Nick Stapp. Well,
oh no, definitely.
Could you tell us about the IP on a pole match?
That was my brainchild, and it's interesting because that was one of the most important things to happen to me, because as I was embracing being a director, Nick, or now he's known as CPA again, he was having issues embracing Nick Stapp, and he wanted to let go of CPA, but I always knew CPA was who he was, and that was in his future. And we had this great series of matches that led to where I had his intellectual property on a pole, and I took the name Nick Stapp. I took everything from him, and all he had left was to go back to CPA, and it ended up being the best thing for him.
That's great, because sometimes people don't know what's the best for them, and sometimes you need to make the decision for them, right?
Yeah, exactly, and that's what being a director is all about. People don't realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. Can you tell us about your interaction with me, Gene Okerlund?
Me! Woo! By God, Gene! Well, let me tell you something, Mean Gene, dude. Right?
Yeah.
that was again, I Jesus, I'm lucky, man, because again, even though there's some things in my career I haven't accomplished yet, there's still a lot of cool things that I did accomplish. And one of those things was being able to sit down and do an interview with one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time when it came to doing those interviews. And I got to do that, and it gave me a sense of confidence because I was like, oh, I got this in the bag. And I was in there. I got to hang. I got to go promo for promo with Mean Gene. How many people can say they've done that?
I mean, not a lot.
Not a lot of people can say that. And I did it. So, that was cool, man. That was such a cool moment. And, that was a moment, and I want this to be a lesson for any young fan out there that might, or a young wrestler that might be listening. When you're at these shows and you have a big name on the show, don't be afraid to go and talk to them, even if you might say something stupid or you might feel dumb afterwards. It's worth it, I promise, because you never know whether it's a piece of advice or if you do a video with them. It goes a long way, and you never know until you ask. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
No, absolutely. And I mean, that's been again another recurring theme on the show is getting that picture. Sometimes people are afraid to ask, and in wrestling you're here to make memories, and if you don't ask to take that picture, you're not getting that memory, right?
Yeah, 100%. You never know. Life is too short. Nothing is promised except for death.
Speaking of interesting promos, could you tell us about recreating the legit Perfect Perkins promo while he was doing the promo?
I wasn't gonna do a promo for Magic that day, but I saw that promo and I knew I had to respond, and I wanted to do something different, and I gave it a shot. It was just a little experiment, and it worked out, and that was a lot of fun, man.
I found it so patronizing.
It is patronizing, right? I've been hearing that word a lot. My girlfriend gets mad at me sometimes, because I'll make a joke and she says, "Don't patronize me," and I was like, I didn't realize what I was doing. So let's look up the word patronizing. Patronizing. Okay. Patronizing. Adjective. To garant or percent particle. What? That's not it. Okay, here we go. To treat in a way that is apparently kind or helpful, but that betrays a feeling of superiority. She was determined not to be put down or patronized. Interesting. The other is to frequent a store, restaurant, or establishment as a customer. That's where the term Patreon comes from, like the website. That's what that part of it. But so the other definition is, which what we were just talking about, to give encouragement, financial support, or a person, to give encouragement and financial support to a person, especially an artist or a cause. So that's like if you're on Patreon. But what I do, patronizing, is to treat in a way that is apparently kind or helpful. See, so then that's not, so what they mean to say is condescending, because I feel like patronizing has more of a nicer thing to it. I see what it means. To talk down to. Okay. So I guess I don't know if that was patronizing. It was mocking. I was mocking him.
Yes.
It was definitely mocking. I didn't mean to patronize him though. So if he took it that way, I'm sorry.
No, I
It's
found it interesting how you did the promo word to word while you were watching it.
yeah, and that took a long. That I thought it was going to be easy and fast to do for a promo.
Yeah. Alright, I think it's time for that segment. Once again, JGeorge's Bizarre Adventure. You're a pro wrestler that grows up and down the roads and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are about to happen. Can you tell us a
Yeah.
road story that fits that description?
A road story of something crazy happening.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow, man.
Do you need time to think? We could come back to it if you need time to think.
Let's see. Crazy road story. Hello. One time, I mean, what was the craziest road story you heard on this podcast?
Ooh. The most explicit was Mickey Knuckles for sure.
Oh, yeah, that was a good story, right?
Yes. Just going into a strip club for breakfast. And I'll keep it at that.
Oh, man. I never had breakfast at a strip club. I've never eaten at a strip club.
Apparently the mushrooms were good there.
Oh, wait a minute.
Who else had a good story? Um, Travis Huckabee had an insane story.
What happened? What happened to him?
Just being in a creepy house with Masha Slamovich and a friend of his was having a crisis on the phone, and there was a lot of driving and a snowstorm and a lot
I
of.
was in a promoter's house one time with Masha Slamovich in Maine, and I was trying to get her to box me,
Yeah.
like a boxing match. Cause she's from New York and she likes to talk like she's like a tough guy, and I like to talk like I'm a tough guy. So I was like, let's go. And then, but she was tired from her match, and she cut a promo on me in Spanish.
Wow. I didn't even know she
And
could speak Spanish.
yeah, neither did I. She's Russian.
Yeah.
She's not Spanish. She's Russian. But because of where she lives in New York, I guess she's picked it up over the years. I was like super impressed. Masha, that was a fun time. We went on the road to Maine. It was a pretty good adventure. We had lunch, we had breakfast in the casino, but not the strip club.
Okay. That
Yeah.
sounds interesting.
Yeah, man.
Was that for Limitless?
So it was a kind of yeah. I did a taping for Limitless at their dojo, and then she did the show, and then I did another show in that area too. It was a whole group of us.
All right. Well,
Some of us went to Limitless, some of us went to this other promotion.
I was definitely not expecting to hear Masha speak Spanish. So
These are set.
that's definitely a bizarre adventure for sure.
Oh yeah, that is definitely bizarre.
Now, this is on topic because we are in December. Christmas was a couple of days ago. Can you tell us about JGeorge Saves Chrismas?
Oh man, that was a fun one with the boys, Killian McMurphy, uh, America's sweetheart Erica Leigh, and Big Dust Wilson. We got together and we got to make a little Christmas magic. And hey, spoiler alert: there may be a little sequel coming soon this Christmas.
Ooh, okay. And if it's out by the time this drops, I'll put in the description of the video below.
Yeah.
If you have kids, maybe put them to bed before you watch it.
It gets violent. Yes, Santa Claus does some questionable stuff. I didn't agree with the script, but
You work with what you got.
yeah, exactly.
These are sesame noodles. They're super creamy, and it's that one dish you make when you only have a couple minutes to spare.
You like sesame noodles?
Yes, I absolutely do.
So, I may or may not be opening up a sesame noodle restaurant in Bergen County. We're only going to sell sesame noodles, but I'm going to play the ad one more time.
These are sesame noodles. They're super creamy, and it's that one dish you make when you only have a couple minutes to spare.
What do you think?
I take it. I don't think I could get there. I live in California. But if I
California knows how to party.
Oh.
'Cause California knows how to party. You know a lot about the East Coast guys, being a California guy, huh?
Yeah. Well, primarily all our interviews come from the East Coast. So we've out of like 150 interviews, only like 5 of them have ever been on the West Coast. So yeah. But if I ever make my way up there, I'll definitely come to your restaurant for sure. All right. Now I'm not quite sure what the connection is here. You tell me. Can you tell us about Mongol King?
Oh, so you're like Nardwar. Do you know Nardwar?
I don't believe I do.
Nardwar. Monger King is a character I play on occasion for Kaiju Big Battle. And it's a lot of fun and it's a lot of violence. If you've ever seen a Kaiju Big Battle show,
Yes.
You've seen them?
Yes.
Oh, they're a lot of fun. And that's a lucky thing I've been blessed with in my career is getting to do Kaiju Big Battle, because what that does, it allows me to take a break from having to be JGeorge all the time, and I get to wear a mask, and I get to wear a costume, and I don't have to worry about being myself. I get to be this animal, this monster, and I get to do professional wrestling in an interesting way.
Did you get did you come up with Mongol King, or was the outfit given to you?
Yeah, that's part of their deal.
Hello?
Yeah, that's part of the Kaiju library of characters. They have all sorts of characters, and for whatever reason, I think part of it is because of I fit the costume size wise, so I usually get that costume. But that is I usually do end up as manga, but it's not something I came up with.
Okay. Alright. Obviously, you've had an incredible career up to this point. Somebody's decided to make a movie about you. It's going to be a big production, lots of big names signed on to do it. Every movie has a soundtrack. What would be the first three songs on the J. George movie soundtrack?
It would be the one that goes and then the other one what's the one that plays in all the war movies? The one that goes you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I believe I know that one.
And then the other, let me see. No, in all seriousness, I'm trying to think. I like a lot of Led Zeppelin. Fortunate Son. That's the song.
Ooh, Fortunate Son. Okay, that's a good one.
That's the one that gets played in all the war movies, right? It's very bayonet. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't play Fortunate Son. You know the other song that plays in The Departed.
In The Departed.
Mm-hmm. You ever see The Departed?
If I did, I don't remember.
What's the name? Is it I'm Shipping Up to Boston? Is it this one? Let's see.
I'll Be Missing You? Loved One?
No. This one. That's the one where I go for the fight scene when I get ready for my match. No, I'm kidding. I don't like that song. I would do Led Zeppelin. Rock and roll. Been a long time since a rock and roll. Been a long time in a rock and roll. And then I would do maybe my theme song, which is Humble by Kendrick Lamar, the instrumental.
Okay.
This one. Yeah. Bam, 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 bam.
You got three solid picks right there. Do you lock
No,
it in?
that's two. That's two.
Right, but you
And
said
then
Fortunate Son.
no, that's a joke because they play that in all the movies.
Okay.
And then maybe another Led Zeppelin song. No Quarter. Boom.
All right.
All right.
You got two
Not bad,
picks
right?
there. Do you lock it in?
I'm locking it in.
All right. Now, now that we got the soundtrack out of the way, everybody knows you get the soundtrack down before you even write the script. And then obviously casting. Who plays J. George? And you can't say yourself because you're legally obligated to make a standard cameo.
Wah! I think either Killian McMurphy or maybe Erica Leigh.
Well, I think it's only fair, Erica, because you played her.
Yes. Yep. She would have to do it in blackface too. Nah, I'm kidding. She gets a good tan.
And every movie has a supporting cast. Who would be three people in your movie, and who would play them?
I would get Killian in there. I would have LMK as she would be in there as Erica Leigh because Erica Leigh would be playing me.
Okay. Yes.
And then maybe do you act at all? Are you an actor?
I am not an actor. I prefer to stay on the other side of the camera.
On the microphone, yeah.
Yes.
Behind the mic. Behind the mic.
Yes.
Would you be the sound guy for the film?
Sure, why not?
Do you know how to use a Zoom?
Yeah, of course.
Huh? Cool. You're hired. You're the sound guy.
Awesome. I didn't think
Yeah.
I'd get hired.
I would hire, and then Big Dust. Do you know who Big Dust Wilson is?
Yes.
So then he would be the he would play my dad in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, this is sounding like an awesome movie. Pre-order the tickets now.
Yeah. Why not?
Now onto a controversial subject. Pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
Oh my God! Get that out of my face! I don't like that. Two different flavors? No. I like a good old traditional pizza. As a matter of fact, to warm up for this interview, I went down to the Right Pizza over in Teaneck, New Jersey, and I got I got myself I got myself something real good. I got myself a nice slice of pizza with pepperoni.
Ah, the classic, no?
That's how I like it. I like a classic classic pepperoni. I like a lot of my food the way they're drawn in cartoons and in movies. So my favorite donut to get is the pink with sprinkles.
Like The Simpsons.
Exactly, 100%. That's what I call it, the Homer Simpson donut.
Yeah.
And they sell it at 7-Eleven. I used to get that, but I can't. I have to be careful.
Why do you have to be careful?
Because I can't eat all those donuts. Then I get
Yes.
a belly, and I can't wrestle fast. I do a lot of high risk maneuvers.
Correct. Alright.
A lot of risk.
What's your spirit Pokemon?
My spirit Pokemon. Wow, that's a good question. Oh, Growlithe. I think it was I'm either like a Growlithe or yeah. I feel like I'm a Growlithe because I'm like a dog, Rawr, and I have a little fire to me.
Okay. Solid pick. We love Tracy Smothers on the show. Do you know the acronym for THUG? THUG.
Yep, that's right. Everybody, big respect to Tracy Smothers. Everybody knows that a thug can't spell.
Yes. But
Yeah.
what are the first what do the first three letters stand for?
Are you ready? You want to do it with me?
Sure, why not?
It's like old Tracy used to say, baby, they already know the deal when we packing it up and the boys down south are coming up north. You better run for hell because the thug is coming. And we all know that T is for terrible, H is for hell, U is for ugly, and G is for
jail.
Because a thug can't spell.
Yes. That is 100% correct. We love Tracy on the show, and we're trying to keep the memory alive.
Yeah, man. Big ups to Tracy, and I wish I could have worked with him, and I wish I could have met him. Unfortunately, I never got to meet him, and I consider that a failure in my wrestling career that I never got to meet that man. But I feel his spirit live on through all of the talent in professional wrestling now as they come out here and perform in his honor and his name. And I'm not going to let his name go down in shame. I dedicate my matches to him out of respect.
That's awesome. And obviously we do this segment, and I'm in the same boat as you. I've never met him, and he's one of those guys that I really wish I did, but unfortunately never got the opportunity.
I know, man. We'll meet him one day, brother.
You're not wrong about that.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's how I feel. You know.
Oh, for sure. Now, the weirdest question you'll ever be asked, on a wrestling interview. would you ever consider wrestling a Rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, not the country, an actual Rock.
A rock. Well, I actually uh when I started training in at the Newbridge School of Pro Wrestling, um, it got me. What they would do for training is when you would take shoulder tackles, they would throw rocks at you, and when the rock would hit you, you would have to bump. And when then you would throw a punch, you'd have to hit the rocks. So I've wrestled many rocks before.
Wow. Okay, interesting. Well, just for context, there's this wrestler out there named Psycho Mike that wrestled an actual Rock for over 15 minutes in a Tungsten Man match, an Iron Man match that lasted for 2 weeks.
Whoa, who did this?
Psycho Mike. And yeah, it was definitely a sight to behold. But maybe, hey, maybe you could get you could challenge The Rock. He's world champion, you know.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking. Whose episode is coming out next week?
Well, tomorrow we have on Lilith and Alexander Crowley.
Who?
They're independent wrestlers from the Texas area.
It doesn't matter where they're from. The Rock says you come out here and you bring these two Rudy Poo candy asses on the People's Podcast. Well, The Rock says they can come up to New Jersey. They can take a right on Roll Boulevard and Shut Your Mouth Lane, and the Great One will check them directly into the SmackDown Hotel. And when it's all said and done, they can come up, they can go on the podcast, they can take their phones out, they can download it, Wrestling with Entertainment, and they could download it on Spotify, they could download it on Spreaker, they could download it on iTunes, but when it's done, when the podcast hits its peak, when the podcast is over, they can take their phones, they can shine it up real nice, turn that sumbitch sideways and take it straight up their candy ass. If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
I'm assuming that's a formal challenge to Alexander Crowley.
Yeah, you tell him I said it. You send him the sound bite. You send him the clip. You send him the entire podcast. You could even send him the timestamp to the exact moment that the Great One challenged him. That the Rock challenged him to go 1-on-1 with the Great One.
All right. We will. I will definitely soundbite this and send it to them. On a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Wow, great question, and it's actually good to actualize. I said it in my promo when I called out the fans. I want the world, and I want the championship, and I want to hold gold on television, and I want to actualize everything I've been working for since I started in professional wrestling. And I'm going to close my eyes for just a second, and if you're listening to the podcast, I want you to close your eyes with me, and I want you to just take a moment and really visualize this. Visualize me coming down the ramp, and it doesn't matter if it's blue and white, if it's red and black, if it's gold and black, if there's an owl, if it's It doesn't matter. It's going to be walking down the ramp in front of thousands of fans and everyone in unison knowing that when I get into the ring and I say that this is a film that is written and directed by JGeorge, they all say it with me as I take my right hand and I lift up the 10, 12, 15 pounds of gold over my shoulder, and all the people at home, they raise their hands with me. That's what I want. That's what I see, and I see the money coming in. I see the hardships are going to be a thing of the past. I won't be struggling anymore. That I won't be left behind. That I won't be wondering what if, because I'll be in it. I will be in the moment. There won't be a what if. It's what's happening right now. And I got to continue on that path, and I'm going to continue to work harder. I'm going to continue to eat better. I'm going to try to lift better in the gym every day. I'm going to stay doing my stoked athletic programming, my training, and I'm going to get there. I'm going to get what I want. And that brass ring that people talk about in professional wrestling all so often is going to be right at my shoulder tips. But to quote a great man, that the only glass windows or ceilings are in my brain and my mental, because I am breaking through all of those because I can and because I will. Every day I get better. Every day I get a little bit closer, and I just want to taste that sweet, sweet victory of success on my lips. And I want to not to have to worry about any bills or any pain. I want to be able to do it and be able to say, God damn it, JG, you did it, brother. You made it through the other side. You got the fancy suit on now. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to get it off Amazon. You can walk into Express and you hand him that credit card and you say, I want this suit. Because Steve Harvey said you got to have a tan suit. You got to have a blue suit. You got to have a black suit. You got to have a cream suit. And I'm going to have all the suit. And I'm going to have it. And I'm going to wear it with pride when I go to television, when I go to do my job. And I'm going to continue to show everybody why I am a visionary force in the sport of entertainment, in the field of entertainment, in the sport of wrestling and the field of entertainment. And in 5 years, I see the great success finally actualizing for your boy JG.
All right. And I closed my eyes, and it seems like the future is very bright.
I'm putting it in writing, dude. I'm putting it in writing. I'm putting it out there in the universe and put it on your show. No other podcast that I've done have I ever said that. Because no other podcast before has ever asked me. They've never asked me what I see in 5 years. And I haven't asked myself that. I haven't asked myself where I see myself in 5 years, and I should. And now as we're getting closer to the new year, it is time to put paper to action, action to paper, because let me tell you, brother, I have soared with the eagles and I've slithered with the snakes. Wait a minute, let me say it again. I've slithered with the snakes and I've soared with the eagles, and I've been everywhere in between. Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you, I will defeat the devil. I will beat the devil and come through, and just like Judea did for 40 days and 40 nights, I will starve myself as I tie myself shackled to the bottom of this river bottom with snakes and scorpions crawling across my skin as I drain and purge my body from all the impurities and all the evils in this world. I will do what I have to do to defeat the devil and to go on and to show everybody why I am what I say that I am, the true visionary force in professional wrestling. Why I firmly believe that I am, without a shadow of a doubt, the most brilliant mind this industry has ever seen. And I am going to take 100 years of knowledge from this sport, from Toots Mondut to Capital Wrestling to the gold rush of professional wrestling, Gene Hackenschmidt, Lou Thez, Carl Gotch, Masahiro Chono, Antonio Inoki, Giant Baba, Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Macho Man Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, Vince McMahon, Jeff Jarrett, Coney Khan, Triple H, anyone that has done anything of note in this business, I will put all of that knowledge to use and show everybody why my name belongs up there with all of the greats. Damn it. I am JGeorge. I am JGeorge, the professional wrestler. I am JGeorge, the director. I am JGeorge, the fucking movie. And I am sick and tired of sitting by and letting my career and the days go by the window, watching other people live out my dream while I sit here at home trying to figure out what my next step is, trying to figure out how to make my next buck, trying to figure out what my name is. My name. Me. But fuck that. I am done. I told you, so it is, as it's been written, as it's been said, in the book, in the script, online, digitally, or in audio form for this podcast. As I say to you now, I'll say it again. This, my friends, in the next 5 years, is a film that is written and directed by JGeorge. Hell yeah, dude. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me get that out.
No, I'm feeling inspired. That's definitely a great way to see your next 5 years, and it seems.
I can't wait to hear that back, man. That's gonna be the sound clip. I gotta play that for everybody, bro. I gotta play it when I wake up in the morning. I gotta play it when I shower. I gotta play it when I go to the gym. I gotta play it when I'm in bed with my wife. Because, brother, let me tell you, man, you tonight, Double J, have woken up something in me, and I want to talk all about Jeff Jarrett one day. But you woken up something in me because I forgot for a second who I was, and it wasn't. You told me, you said I want to interview you. Because I've been doing the messed up part of being too lazy and not messaging people to say, let me talk. Let me say something. Let me get my voice out there. And you're letting me do it tonight, right here on the podcast that everybody knows is the deal. Everybody knows that it's wrestling with entertainment.
Absolutely. And I hope you don't mind that I jumped in with there and said, written and directed by JGeorge with you.
That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I felt like, you wanted everybody to say it with you, and I'm here with you. So yeah, I'm gonna say it.
Hell yeah, man. Woo! I feel great after that, man. You're a great interview, brother. I gotta tell you, some guys ask a lot of the dumb questions. They ask me the same questions. You are a really good interviewer. I really liked what you did here.
I definitely appreciate that. We try to make it interesting for our guests.
Thank you, brother.
And what's a match people should go out of their way to see that best shows off what JGeorge is all about?
Definitely my most recent match against Darius Carter from Pro Wrestling Magic. It's on IWTV. I'm going to try to upload that match in its full to my YouTube page as well, so anyone could access it. And if they have access to FWF Live 4, they can watch me versus Ty Valkyrie, which is another match I'm so definitely check those out.
If the match is uploaded with Darius before this interview is up, I will definitely put it in the description of the video below on YouTube and Castbox for anybody that wants to see it. Is there another match on YouTube we could see as well?
Yeah, I'll be doing, like I said, I'll try to upload a bunch of the matches up as the year ends, as a kind of a year wrap up. But definitely, if you have IWTV, check out my match with Erica Leigh from last year.
You're you and she's her, right?
Yeah, it's on me. She's her, but that was probably one of my favorite matches I've ever had. That was magic, no pun intended. Definitely check that out.
Alright. And since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom.
Oh, here we go. The 8 questions of doom.
This is our speed round, our bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
The greatest wrestler of all time. Oh my God, it's so hard. Ric Flair's. I guess Ric Flair probably is up there. Yeah.
All right.
Ric Flair.
Worst wrestler.
The worst wrestler of all time. Anytime Dustin Wilson tries to wrestle.
You're main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
His name is John Cena. Yeah.
If you could come out,
Oh,
he's
probably the greatest too.
Music, past or present, who would it be?
Like someone else's theme music?
Yeah. I mean,
maybe
you could
the God.
A normal song as well. Just let's open up with anything.
Maybe The Godfather or Rob Van Dam's first theme song in WWE before it was when it didn't have the lyrics. It's just the dun 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 down dun dun down dun dun down down bum 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 bum.
Yeah, I think it.
Or the Flying Elvis's theme song from TNA. That's a good one.
Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is.
It's alive and well, brother, if you let it.
You would have also accepted taste great on toast. Squash. Fruit or vegetable?
It's to me it's a vegetable.
Well, it is indeed a fruit. Technically.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're a part of Squash Squad now, and that means a lot more. New Japan wrestler Tai Chi, his ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
You don't want to go past Rikishi.
So basically, you don't want to go past nothing at all.
I guess not, yeah.
Right. And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about
Darby Allin? So fun story. I actually recently ran into Johnny Gargano at the supermarket, and he didn't know who I was, so I was a stranger to him, and I started talking to him about Darby Allin.
Legitimately?
Imagine, would that blow your mind if that happened?
It absolutely would.
I'd love to wrestle Darby Allin. That'd be a fun match.
So, you actually seen Johnny Gargano in the supermarket?
And I talked to him about about Darby Allin.
All right, that is the correct answer.
See, I know. I do my homework.
And that will conclude this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with me, JGeorge.
Oh! Thank you very much.
Once again, where can we find you on social media and your merchandise?
ProWrestlingTees.com/JGeorge and JGeorge the movie on Twitter and JGeorge.mp4 on Instagram. You don't want to miss it.
And you don't even have to go looking for those websites. All of the links will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox. Simply click the link and a new tab will appear on whatever device you're on. You have no excuse. Buy a damn shirt.
Yeah, man, let's do it. And I can't wait to listen to this back, man. That was probably one of my most realest moments right here. Only on Wrestling with Entertainment.
And of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe. Somebody found the sound effects.
Yeah.
Now, of course, if you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment on YouTube and Castbox. Of course, this is sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us tomorrow as we interview Lilith and Alexander Crowley. And of course, next week, January 3rd and 4th, are very special 4-year anniversary episodes. You definitely don't want to miss those. Follow the show at Wrestling with E on Twitter for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and a whole lot more. And on Instagram at Wrestling with E as well. You can follow me personally at JamesJ993. You can follow Scooter at ScooterDust. And on the remix, the only live alternative commentary for WWE PLEs, join us for the Royal Rumble in January. And of course, on the Smoking Dragons Twitch stream. Alright, JGeorge, when I say wrestling wit, you say entertainment, okay?
Yes, sir.
For our very special guest, JGeorge, Calico Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with
Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.